All right, hey folks, it is Saturday morning. It's my Saturday brunch workbench. We're going to do a bunch of game design for role playing. Give me a second here to check my signal, make sure we're live. I want to just boost my signal here real quick across the social medias, and then we're going to get into this for a couple hours. Doing a mic check, 1, 2, 3. We're going to get into this for a couple hours. Doing a mic check, 1, 2, 3. We're going to get into this for a couple hours. Doing a mic check, 1. Let's try that again. Hold on. All right. Check. Mic check. 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 Mic check. Seems a little quiet. Hold on. Check. Mic check. Check. How's that quiet? Mic check. Mic check. How's that quiet? Mic check. And we got that again. How's that quiet? Mic check. And we drop that out. How's that quiet? Sorry, I'm trying to check my mic here to make sure things are working right, because I've been having microphone issues. I'm trying to check my mic here. There we go. That sounds stronger. Okay, cool. So we can drop that down there like that, and here we're going to just do some boosting here real quick. Let me go through an explanation of who I am, what I got going on here for those that don't know, that are catching the stream for the first time ever. Hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games, I illustrate them, I publish them online, and I am focusing my attention on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, the 2024 updates. I've been a D&D enthusiast and Dungeon Master since 1987. I've been a Magic the Gathering enthusiast since 93. Freelance illustrator in the fantasy RPG industry since 1999. And I've been creating content on DMsGuild for 5th edition since 2017. So we're gonna work on 3 different things today, and I'm almost done with my posting, so we'll get into it here in a hot second. But three things we got on our agenda is we're looking at Bastions, the new 2024 mechanics for hideouts and forts, and they call them Bastions in 2024. There's been a lot of buzz around that on the YouTube channels. So I work on mechanical system development for the 5e game engine mostly, as well as other stuff. And I see a ton of potential to gamify and build themes around Bastions as a campaign setting, like as the engine of generating activity inside of the campaign to propel your characters into new plot hooks and new adventures and new challenges and new complications for them to face over the course of their character's career, connected to the Bastions. Other thing I want to work on today is color mana. The 2024 mechanics, we're going to be updating all of the color mana spell point variant rules that we've created on the DMsGuild. We want to update all that stuff for 2024. First off, I've been using them for years at this point. Hold on real quick. Let me finish my intro here real quick. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for. Hey, cool, new subscribers. Thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, so I stream 10 times per week, Monday through Friday in the mornings. I do artwork for an Eberron adventure that we're creating. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Friday lunchtimes, I do game development. On Thursday night, I do game development, and Saturday morning, like here now, we also do game development, artwork. It's an open bench to work on whatever stuff I want to push forward or ideas that I'm having. And then Monday nights, we do a Mega Dungeon playtest on my Discord server, which you can see is linked. Here's my Discord community for accessing all my stuff. To, sharpen your knives with me if you want. I've got content on Patreon, and I'll be continuing to develop that in 2025. So thanks a lot for supporters, and there's a ton more to come. It's on its way. And here's playtest content. Here's a bunch of other books that I've created already. I've gone through a lot of different streams talking about all the mechanical depth that we have for using the color magic system, but basically it replaces the 5-color magic system for Magic the Gathering. We're going to start here. We're going to start with color mana today, probably spend about an hour on it, and then we'll switch gears and we'll play with Bastions in the later half of the session. So the color mana system for Magic the Gathering, both Magic the Gathering and Dungeons & Dragons are owned by Wizards of the Coast. So when they started creating Magic the Gathering settings, worlds inside using the D&D game engine, like Magic the Gathering has like 30 different worlds that the game, that their card game is portrayed taking place in, with different characters, monsters, locations, heroes, stuff like that. And so they take these different settings and then they convert them into a book for use in Dungeons and Dragons. So that's where this started in 2017, converting Ravnica into a D&D setting. Magic the Gathering is famous for the color mana magic paradigm. The 5 colors, white, blue, black, red, green, are both a way of like expressing character personalities, intentions, like an alignment system. It's also a hard magic system which is like the underlying fundamental elements of the universe. Of these 5 colors is basically how creation happens. So one of the most exciting things about bringing MTG into D&D is that we can now use all the in the settings that are like Ravnica, Strixhaven, Theros, and just generic stuff. We can code everything in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition into Magic the Gathering now that those IPs are cross-contaminating each other, I guess, or cross-pollinating. And the Dungeon Masters Guild, DMsGuild, is where people are allowed to publish that content. So that's what we're doing. We're replacing the 8 schools of magic and the spell slot system, the Vancian magic system from Dungeons and Dragons. We're replacing it with the 5-color magic paradigm from Magic the Gathering, where all spells and magical effects and stuff like that are all allocated to one or more of the 5 colors: white, blue, black, red, green. And we've talked about this before, but there's some basic tenets or aspects of magic that define what each color is. Just some guiding principles or like tags, mechanical concepts, like green being like about animals, healing, plants, nature, senses, and spirit. Well, like red magic is like change, creation, earth, fire, emotion, impulse. You can see like in white magic we have healing, and we also have healing in green magic. Green magic has spirits and white has divinity. But black magic has like soul. So spirits, soul, divinity, green, black, and white all kind of operate in this triad of being able to like bring people back or healing people, creating undead in the case of black. So there's this life-death manipulation that exists in different ways in those 3 colors. And like a lot of elemental stuff, like blue has air and water, earth has fire and earth, and then nature and plants and weather, animals, that's where green is at. So there's this triad between blue, red, and green for like druidic type stuff. So you've got the divination things, which are generally like white, black, like gods, white, black, green, and then elemental. So like spirit is like white and black, while nature is red, blue, green, and then green kind of bonds the 2 together because both spirit and body are natural aspects of our world. So there's a really fun dichotomy there. So between these different aspects of each color and the damage types that are associated with the like if you go through a couple thousand cards from Magic the Gathering, you'll see general themes for how these different types of damages kind of glom onto different colors. Like fire and lightning are very red, obviously, but like force, like so radiance is a white thing, but like force damage is white and red as well as blue, but like psychic damage is white, blue, and black, while black is also like poison and necromancy and acid, while green is also acid and poison, but it's also thunder and cold damage. So there's a lot of fun overlay between the different damage types that are in the game and the different aspects of reality or just tags in the system. So between the aspects and damage types, we create a scaffold for us to be able to define one color, like a spell, as one or more colors. It's like Chill Touch does necrotic damage, and so the only color that does necrotic damage is black. So that means it's only a black spell. But something like Mind Sliver, for instance, it does psychic damage, and we know psychic damage is white, blue, black. But that's all Mind Sliver and Chill Touch are. They're just damaging spells. Like Druidcraft is manipulating nature and elements, so it's green only. So like there's a lot of intuitive stuff that goes into it. Sometimes it gets a little bit more tricky. Some things can be a little challenging. So what we're doing is you can see X's down here for the spells that we reviewed. We have all of this already. If you check it out, just to summarize this before we get to work, If you drop down here to the color magic, the 5 color magics, mana point spirit rule system here, it's already published on the DMs Guild using 2014 mechanics. But since we now have the 2024 rules, and I've been running these mechanics in my own home games for the past 7 years, multiple campaigns from like level 1 to 5. I've done an entire 1 to 20 level campaign. I've done some playtesting at level 10 to 15. And we've done playtesting at level 1 to 6, and we're about to do some more playtesting for the martial power system. But I've had a lot of opportunity to test this at different levels with different types of characters. It's a solid system, but we've found a lot through all that testing. We've found new ways to be able to dive into the narrative of color magic into your D&D characters. And with the release of 2024 rules, there's a lot of new neat character options that exist that we can also manipulate to curve into the mana system. So you can see all these books are 100% free preview. So here's basically the revised list that we're looking at right now using the 2014 rules. Everything's laid out, but we're now going through the process of updating it for 2024. There's new spells, and our familiarity, or like our relationship to the colors has improved and evolved over the years. So it's time for us to do basically just a recalibration of how we're defining the colors and how we're looking at what the different spells are meeting what those definitions are. So we're taking this opportunity with 2024 to rebuild all of the books using the new mechanics, and as part of that process, reassess every spell that's in the game. So yesterday we spent maybe 2 hours-ish going through levels 1 through 2. So right now we're going to continue diving into it. Let's go to D&D Beyond. If anyone has any questions or anything, you're certainly welcome to ask. If anyone contests any of the decisions that I make about colors here, you are certainly welcome to debate me on it. You'll either convince me that there's a different way of looking at how the colors work that'll make more sense for the spells that are here, or you'll just further reinforce that I'm doing it right. So no matter what, we're all going to win for you giving me pushback. That's what debate is for, to create a stronger result. So to be able to hash out problem areas before it's put out as a definitive statement. So I am all for that. So you go ahead and bust my chops a little bit if you think that you can. If you like what I'm doing, then like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. I'm here, like I said, 10 times per week, either doing artwork or diving further into these mechanics. So let's see, it's 9:30 here now. If we go till 10:30, that'll give us an hour of mana mechanics, and then we'll switch gears and we'll start looking at Bastion campaigns, because I know that's going to be something that's of interest to people. Maybe I'll break these things out into separate posts and post them up as separate videos. So we are currently looking at, we're starting in on level 3, Animate Dead. That's necromancy. That's going to be the purview of black magic. So we're going to drop down here. Let's find the start of 4th level, 3rd level spells, and we're just going to, we just go through them one by one. So we're going to parse through all this stuff. Some of it will be quick and easy. Some of it's going to be something we're going to have to gnash on a little bit before we can find something that we settle with. There are new spells that I am not familiar. Here we are. Good. Okay, so I'm going to take this and drag this over so that I don't necessarily see the colors that we already have listed for stuff. So we have Animate Dead already. We resolved that. So we're just gonna pop these open. We're just gonna look at what the spell's descriptions are, and if everything makes sense, then we're good to go. Let's take a look at how we're looking at it here. And okay, you can only see part of the spell, but let's see if I can make this more agreeable for use. Let's go to here. And now let's drop back to here. Yeah, you can see a lot of the spell. You can see enough of the spell that shouldn't be a problem. Cool, so let's go ahead and do that. So we are on Aura of Vitality. It is a 1 minute concentration effect. So we only have 3, like I explained last session, there's only 3 types of duration using these variant rules. And we call it simple. We call it simple duration. There's instant, concentration, and persistent. Persistent spells don't require concentration and literally last all day until you finish a long rest. That's when the spell drops. If you want to keep the spell going when you finish a long rest, you just don't recover the mana that was spent. It's like if I have water breathing going and we're all sleeping at the bottom of the ocean, and have spent 3 mana to activate water breathing for 24 hours. When I finish my long rest, instead of the spell deactivating and me having to cast it again, I just simply leave the 3 mana that was spent for the water breathing, and we just leave it on. And so we just leave that mana burn. So it's like, yeah, that spell just persists. That way we don't have to worry about gulping water and getting us killed while we're sleeping underwater. If we get the spell, that's going to be a problem. There's not a lot of stuff underwater that's going to dispel, though, so it's a pretty safe environment. That's a good example, though. Concentration, we no longer have a duration in time. It's just simply concentration. As long as you maintain concentration, the spell is up. But anytime you make a saving throw, every saving throw you make has to equal the concentration DC or better. Even if you pass a saving throw against like a fireball, your dexterity result could be so low, it could be lower than your spell maintenance. And if that's the case, even though you saved against the fireball, you dump all your spells. And the concentration DC is 10 plus the amount of levels of spells that you're maintaining right now. And if you're a 17th level cleric, you can maintain 9 levels worth of spell effects. Like you could have Guardian Spirits at 4th level going, and have like Summon Demon, a 5th level spell, going at the same time. That's 9. That's a lot of power. But the DC is 10 plus total mana tapped. So that's going to be 9 levels worth of spells plus 10. The DC you have to hit on every single saving throw while you maintain both of those is 19. If dexterity is your dump stat, you only have like say a +1, and you're now trying to take care of a fireball that has only a DC 14 to save against. You rolled say a 15, but you still failed the DC 19 on your concentration. So even though you survived the fireball, you just lost 9 levels worth of spells, and now you're gonna have to spend time casting them again. So it's fragile. Full casters become fragile. The martial power system that we may be getting to later on today, that we're playtesting on Mondays, creates very durable magic that martial characters can be brazen about wielding while they're taking damage in combat without worrying about losing their concentration. But full casters aren't built for that rugged durability, so their concentration is fragile. So that's a really fun balance mechanic that we're working with right now in the playtesting. So if you're interested in that stuff, you're welcome to jump in my Discord. And then instant effects, or like fireball or heal or whatever. It's just an instant effect. So this Aura Vitality at 5th level, that's the maximum level spell. So I could have Aura Vitality going, but not be able to sustain any other magic. Conversely, I could have like 3 first level spells that all require concentration, clicking at the same time and covering, whatever it covers, but both of those DCs are the same. The Aura Vitality or 3 first level aura effects, they would, either one of those circumstances would be a DC 13 for every single saving throw. And then you have attrition. Attrition checks is basically the DM shit testing you occasionally, making you make a saving throw. If you are, say, performing research in a library, and you have spells up to make it easier for you to do that. Well, researching for a long period of time is fatiguing. So like you might have to make a constitution check to prevent being sleepy, or an intelligence check to retain focus. And if you fail, that's like you'll make a saving throw every hour. And if you pass the test, then your bonus spells, like maybe you have like skill empowerment or something like, or like enhance ability active to help you research while it's rolling. As long as you keep hitting your DC 12 for enhanced abilities, you'll continue to gain the benefit of that. If you bungle the roll, then you just have to spend 2 more points of mana to kick it up again. It's a good way for you to fatigue the mana pool, because the biggest complaint about spell points versus spell slots is that spell points are so flexible, they let you cast tons of magic. It can be abusive, especially when it's like aura concentration stuff that you can just throw tons of them out there all the time. By shit testing with attrition checks like that, you naturally balance against, you give them the flexibility to maintain stuff if they think they can hold on to it, but then you're constantly testing them. Like when you have a battle, with creatures, like having a mix of things that are going to require saving throws, a mental stat, whiz, charisma versus a physical stat, strength, dex, and con. Having a mix of both of those in every encounter, or at least one in every encounter, is going to help increase the chances that your casters are going to get shit tested occasionally. Maybe an enemy shaman has like a Ray of Frost spell or something, and when it hits you, you have to make a dexterity saving throw or be slowed. The slow's not going to do anything to your caster on the back line, but the simple fact that they had to make a DC 12 saving throw for their dexterity, or they lose their spells, that's the collateral benefit for the DM to be able to wing stuff out there. So as a DM, I'm encouraged to create more dynamic battles with like conditions and battlefield effects that do require saving throws, mostly just to test the spells that are being maintained. So anyway, so that's the background to all that stuff. That's where these ICPs are coming from. Instantaneous, concentration, and persistent effects. So there you go. And again, this is all covered in the books that are already published. And again, all those books are already published. Get out of the way. Again, here's the full list of books. They're all 100% preview. Spellpoint Warlocks is awesome. Elemental Key creates the four element paradigm, as well as having the color magic paradigm there. But here's the core mechanics book. The entire 75-page document is free preview. If you like the stuff, buy it to encourage me to make more. You don't buy books to access the information. You buy the books to encourage me to make more of them. So you can see here we have the simplified durations. So you can drop down here and look at the rules and mechanics that go on behind these. And there's additional mechanics and stuff that we could talk about, like concentration variants and stuff like that. But there you go. So you can educate yourself. Check it out if you think it's cool. Let me know. And so let's see, let's get back into it. Here we go. Okay, great. So we're finally actually getting to it. So an aura radiates from you in 30-foot emanation for the duration. When you create the aura and at the start of the turn, while it persists, you can restore 2d6 hit points to one creature in it. So that is a healing effect. That's going to put it down as white and green. There we go. So it was pretty obvious it was going to be white and green because white and green are healing. Ooh, that reminds me. While we're here, what I should do is grab a snipping tool and let's do this. So I can grab these and have them off to the side over here for us to be able to contemplate on occasion when it gets dicey about which color something actually is supposed to be. So we'll drop back down here and let's get back to it. All right, Beacon of Hope. What does Beacon of Hope do? Choose any number of creatures within range for the duration. Each target has advantage on wisdom saving throws and death saving throws, and regains the maximum number of hit points possible from any healing. So that's like a buff effect. Let's look at our tenets here. Healing, light, protection. This feels like a very white magic sort of thing. Healing for green. Let's see. Each target at advantage on saving throws again and death saving throws. So that's resilience. Beacon of Hope. I think we'd safely go with white and green on this one. So I only have it as white currently, but let's introduce it as green. I think I'm okay with that. I could restrict it to just white, but it's healing, so I generally want to spread it out a little bit to make it more easy. Like Golgari, it seems weird for Golgari to have that, but or if I like a Beacon of Hope instead of calling it a Beacon of Hope, it would just be like the Swarm's Resilience. Like you'd flavor it differently. So even though like Golgari is black, green, guild, so they aren't stuck with like contemplating white as an option to be off flavored. So that's why we're doing a lot of these revisions, is to open up the narrative space for what different types of colors might naturally have access to these things. So sometimes it's going to be really restricted, like Bestow Curse is probably going to be blue and black. You touch a creature, you must succeed a saving throw. Cursed for the duration. Curses is generally like debuffs and disadvantages. So choose one ability, has disadvantage, that's a suppression effect. The target has disadvantage on attacks against you, more suppression in combat. Target must succeed a saving throw at the start of each of his turns or be forced to take a dodge action. When you force somebody to do something, when you force somebody to act, that's generally considered manipulation, which is an aspect of black magic. So we're seeing suppression. It's not really a restraint because that like stops somebody from doing something, as opposed to forcing somebody to do something or making somebody shitty at doing something. It's like three different degrees or intents that are here between white, blue, and black. So we get to weigh those things out. Like emotion, like a charm effect is manipulation because you're forcing somebody to have a specific attitude about you, which is also emotion and impulse. So you'll often see like mind magic might be black and red at the same time, as opposed to like emotion and suppression. Like calm emotion, that could easily be blue and red. Did we make calm emotion blue and red? Let's double check that real quick because that is worth considering. Calm emotions, white. I must not know what calm emotions does. White, blue, and red. Red is there for the emotions. Now I feel like I'm on a mission. Hold on. Go to calm emotion. I want to double check this real quick. As immunity to charmed and frightened, becomes indifferent about creatures of your choice that it's hostile towards. The difference ends if it kind of takes damage. The creature becomes indifferent about creatures of your choice that it's hostile towards. Oh yeah, that's not blue. It's buffing their ability to resist charm and frightened, which frightened is fear, which is black. So generally the opposite of black is going to be green and white. So that gets white into the mix. Immunity to charm is crossed from blue. And being indifferent about choices that's hostile, that's going to be a red emotional effect, and you're manipulating them into having that. So yeah, white, black, and red is accurate. Okay. Just had to shit test myself there real quick. So let's go back down. Bestow curse, disadvantage on abilities checks. Disadvantages on attacks towards you, suppression, and it deals necrotic damage. Okay, so that's blue and black. White and black doesn't feel accurate, so let's go with blue and black. That feels more on point. Double checking real quick. Yeah, there's no buffing, there's no restraint. It's just debuffs. It's suppression and necromancy stuff, and manipulation. Yeah, I'm good with that. Nice. The target hit by the strikes takes an extra... Okay, it's radiant damage, so that's going to be white automatically. And has the blinded condition until the spell ends. At the end of each of its turns, it can, if it's blinded, it can make a Constitution saving throw to end the effect. So white for sure. It's a 1 minute duration, so it's going to be a concentration effect. Good. And it's dealing radiant damage. And has the blinded condition. That feels like white. And interesting. Blinded. Blinded is darkness. Strength, suppression, manipulation, entropy, fear, soul, darkness. Blindness is darkness. Let's go white, blue, black. Let's give it all three of them. Because the suppression effect of forcing disadvantage onto them, and the darkness of blindness, I think those are good enough justification. Let's go to Blink. Blink's probably going to be white and blue because it's a teleport effect, and Magic the Gathering defines teleportation effects as white and blue. It's a duration 1 minute, so it's going to be a concentration effect. And even though it doesn't say concentrate here, because the duration is less than like an hour, generally if it's generally an hour mark, it's going to be, is it a combat, like a combat utility effect that lasts an hour, then generally it's going to be concentration. If it's an exploration utility that lasts an hour, then chances are we're going to push it to persistent. But it's mostly dependent on, like, does it give you combat buffs or deal damage, or does it give you some sort of like movement or perception utility? That's generally where the breaking line is at. Like for example, Blinding Smite being a concentration effect. That's horrible for the that's horrible for the paladin that's doing that, because at 9th level all you can do is up to 3rd level. But like at 13th level you can have more. You could have 3 effects stacked up on you at 9th level to do that instead of this if you chose to. So if you choose not to concentrate on it, you'll hit them. They'll be blinded, but then the condition ends right away. If you aren't sustained, like for 1 round you'll have that, and if you aren't sustaining it, it'll automatically end at the end of the round. So you get a temporary boost from it, and then once you drop it, it's gone. So there's actually some value to it. And not maintaining concentration, which is going to be something that we've discovered in the past years that needs to be integrated into the document. So Blink is an ongoing effect. We're going to call that concentration. Roll d6 at the end of your turn. Roll 4 to 6. You vanish from your current plane of existence and appear in the ethereal plane. Okay, so this is like a chaos random effect, which is going to be a tenet of red, change, and impulse. That's reddish. It's a teleportation effect, which is, it's not listed here specifically, but Magic the Gathering cards, when you look at teleport effects, they're always white and blue. So we're going to make this white and blue, and because it has that chaos effect, we're going to make it red as well. White, blue, cool. And we're going to add red because of the chaos. There. Call Lightning. That's going to be probably a red and green effect because it's lightning. It's a concentration effect. Cool. Storm clouds appear at a point within range that you can see above yourself. It takes the shape of a cylinder. When you cast a spell, lightning bolts deal lightning damage until the spell ends. Magic action, call down lightning bolts. Outdoor storm, you cast the spell gives you control over the storm instead of creating a new one. Under such conditions, the spell damage increases by d10. So that's definitely going to be red. Let's add green. It already has green. And we could say, we could theme that air, like controlling, like creating a storm as an air effect, I guess. But it's it feels more like weather nature than like actual air effect. So it's actually about lightning. The storm effect is more flavor. So I'm just going to leave it as red and green. Let's check out clairvoyance. That's a concentration effect. See, it's less than an hour, but it's just utility, so we make it concentration instead of persistent. You create an invisible sensor within range and location familiar to you. That's definitely going to be blue because it's like knowledge. Oh, but it's also perception, seeing and hearing. We can make this blue-green. That sounds great. To his senses, I love that. So yeah, we're going to call it blue-green. I love adding green into the scry effect there. That feels really good. There's a shitload of green going on now. Currently 186, 215, 122, 126, 155. 155, 120, 120, 150, 180, and 220. Well, Wizard is the most abundant, and Wizard is very blue. So we'll see at the end of this. We'll see how this all shakes out. I don't need an equal number of spells in every color, but it is interesting to see the differences. Conjure Animal, boy oh boy, is that ever going to be a green spell? Concentration effect, check. You conjure nature spirits that appear as a large pack of spectral intangible animals in an unoccupied space. The 60-foot area. You conjure nature spirits that appear as a large pack of spectral intangible animals in an unoccupied space you can see within range. The pack lasts for the duration, and you choose the spirit's animal form, such as wolves. Like this is immobile. This doesn't move. Whenever the pack moves within 10 feet, creature. Yeah, you cast it. Oh wait. And when you move on your turn, you can also move the pack up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see. Okay, so you can drag it along with you. You have advantage on strength saving throws while you're within 5 feet of the pack, and when you move on your turn, you can also move the pack. And whenever a pack moves within 10 feet of a creature that you can see, and whenever a creature you can see enters the space within 10 feet of the pack or ends its turn there, you can force the creatures to make dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, they take slashing damage. Creature makes this save only once per turn. Okay, cool. So that's green. Easy peasy. Conjure Barrage. Conjure Barrage is creating stuff. So that'll fall into red, but it might be something else as well. We'll see what else. You brandish the weapon used to cast a spell and conjure similar spectral weapons. Spectral weapons or ammunition appropriate to the weapon that launch towards and then launch forward and then disappear. Each creature of your choice. Ooh, force damage. Each creature of your choice that you can see in a 60-foot cone makes a dexterity saving throw or takes force damage. So that's going to be white, blue, and red. Counter spell. You attempt to interrupt the creature in the process of casting a spell. The creature makes a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the spell dissipates with no effect. So it's obviously going to be blue because blue. Counterspell is blue. Create food and water. That's going to be green. You create food. There you go. Green. Crusader's Mantle. Let's see what that does. Magical Aura, 30 feet, concentration effect. Check. While in the aura, you and your allies deal an extra radiant damage. Okay, so that's a white. Radiant damage is white. There you go. Daylight. For the duration, sunlight spreads from a point within range. Creates emanation. Okay, so it's just sunlight. Causing the sunlight. If any of the spells overlap in the area, covering that object with something opaque, such as a bowl or helm, blocks the sunlight. Okay, cool. So that's just white. White and green makes sense. Dispel. Choose one object from another. Ongoing effect. Shuts it down. That's blue and white. Good with that. Elemental weapon. If it does 5 types of elements, it's going to be all elements. Acid is black, green, white, green, red, red, blue, green, red. So that's all 5 colors. And there they are, all 5 colors. Fear. What does fear do? Looking at our tenants, fear is one of the aspects catering to black, so let's see what happens. Frightened effect. A frightened creature takes the dash action to move away. Your forcing action shouldn't be white, it's just black. Fear, ooh, wait. Frightened is an emotion, yeah, so black, red is accurate. It is an emotion. Let's look at Feigned Death. Feigned Death, 1 hour. You touch a willing creature and put it into a cataclysmic state that is indistinguishable from death. For the duration, the target appears dead or outward inspection, and the spells used to determine the target's status. The target has the blind and incapacitated condition, and its speed is 0. The target is also resistant to all damage except for psychic, and it has immunity to the poison condition. So that, yeah, white and black is appropriate for that, and its persistent effect. You can leave somebody permanently in that state if you just cordon off that mana to stay active. Interesting thought behind that. For crossing IPs, if we're looking at Warhammer 40k, the Emperor of Man is on this this throne that it's on is designed to preserve its life, and it has to eat 4,000. Basically, you have to sacrifice 4,000 psychers to it every day. So basically, the psychers have to invest all of their mana every day into this artifact that's keeping this human god creature alive, so that it can continue guiding humanity through the universe. And so that's like a really fun demonstration of like what feigned death would be. Is that do I want it to be green? No, I think white and black is the most appropriate there. It doesn't feel greenish to me. But like that would be like the throne generates feigned death, but it has to eat like 12,000 mana per day to remain active as an artifact to extend this god being's existence forever. So that's just like a fun example. Fireball, Fireball is iconically a red instantaneous effect, deals fire damage. There you go. So flip red, instant Fireball, flab. There you go. All right, onward. We're going to fly. Such a willing creature, it gains fly speed. Fly is a classic blue, but it's also green because the animal stuff, it's like wind and like sky and stuff like that, so green feels good there. Gaseous form, it turns you into mist. That's a very blue effect, but it's also elemental stuff, so that makes it feel green. So the blue-green that we have on it already makes a lot of sense. Let's look at the glyph of warding. You inscribe a glyph that later unleashes a magical effect. You inscribe it either on a surface or written it on an object. The glyph can cover an area no larger than 10 feet in diameter if the surface or object is moved more than 10 feet from where you cast the spell. The glyph is broken and the spell ends without being triggered. The glyph is nearly imperceptible. When you inscribe the glyph, you set its triggers. It can set trigger. You can decide how it acts. Explosive runes. When trigger, it deals. Each creature in the area makes. Oh wow! Dexterity. A creature takes acid, cold, fire, thunder, or lightning damage. Well, that's going to make it all 5 colors automatically, no matter what. So. Something froze up. Hold on. Yeah, something's causing us to choke. I need to press save real quick before I get screwed over. Because sometimes stuff crashes. But it looks like we're going to recover okay. Excuse me. There. I need some water, apparently. Yep, Glyph of Warding is now going to be all colors because you can deal any kind of damage that you want. That opens it up. That was easy. Haste. Haste makes you go fast good. Advantage from dexterity saving throws. It's an enhancement effect. It's going to be pure red. Why is blue getting a piece of that? ends. Oh, the target is incapacitated and has a speed of 0 until the end of its next turn. That's why. Good enough. Hunger of Hater. Sphere of Darkness. That puts it in the black arena. Blinded. You put it in blue. Cold damage takes it to... Ooh, and acid. Cold and acid. Okay, so cold, that's going to be white, blue, green. And acid is going to be black, green. It's every color but red. That's fun. You'll see a lot of those. I like that. Hypnotic Pattern is Illusion and Hypnosis, which is probably going to be blue and black for control. Charmed condition for the duration while charmed. The creature has the incapacitated condition and a speed of 0. White, blue. Yeah, it's just white and blue. It's not manipulation at all. It's just suppression and restraint. So white and blue is appropriate. Cool. Oh wow, we're almost in the 4th level already. We're making good progress. I'm really happy with this. Leo's Hut, what up? 10-foot emanation around you, remains stationary. 8 hours is a persistent spell effect. Can move through the area. It has a warding effect, so that is going to be white. Is comfortable and dry regardless of the weather outside. White, blue, and green. There you go. White, blue, and green. Lightning arrow. Big surprise. That's probably going to be a big old red arrow. Down there, buddy. There we go. Lightning bolt is also red. That's obvious. Magic circle. Let's see what magic circle does these days. You create a 10-foot cylinder of magical energy centered on a point on the ground that you can see within range. Both runes appear and whenever the cylinder interacts with the floor, intersects with the floor. Magic circle. Okay, great. 10-foot circle. Cylinder. Choose one of the following creature types. Choose the following effects. Can't willingly enter. That is black and white. Disadvantage is blue. Can't be possessed or be charmed. That's white. So white, blue, and black. They can't deal damage or grip time. Major image. Visible phenomenon, that's an illusion. Image changes locations, physical interaction, study action, intelligence. Okay, that's just a blue effect. There you go. Illusions are blue. Mass healing word, that's going to be white and green. Yep. White and green, good to go. Is that an instant? Oh, yeah, I guess it is. Meld into stone. Stone is earth, and elements like that in general is green. So to stone, you can't see what occurs outside. Minor physical damage to stone doesn't harm you. Yeah, so red and green, that's appropriate. Non-detection, that's probably going to be blue and maybe white. For the duration, you hide a target that you touch from divination spells. That's suppression. No, that's just blue. Yeah. Yeah, non-detection, that's wrong. It should be blue. I like how the colors are evolving. I don't mind being. I mean, When you purchase these things, you get this spreadsheet, like this editable spreadsheet as a zip file, in a zip file, along with tokens and playmats and stuff like that. So if you disagree with anything I say, I did the work for you. You can just switch it. Like if you want to add white because you think that's appropriate, then just add it and just save it as your own modified, your own campaign list. Phantom Steed, what are you all about? What are you going on about? Let's call it green for the fun of it. Large quasi-real horse, tangible energy. That's generally going to be white and blue. Force effects like that, white, blue, red. We're going to call it 13 miles an hour. And we're going to call it white, blue. Yeah, we're going to do everything but, we're going to give everything but black. Plant growth is going to be green. Brainer. Yeah. Having a little bit of protection from energy. I suspect this is going to be every color. Yep. Light blue, black, red, green. Very good. Remove curse. How do you do? Instant effect. Very good. All curses affecting the creature or an object ends. The object is cursed. Magic item cursed remains. That's white. There you go. Revivify. You took a creature that died, so that's going to be white, black, and green. Come on, mouse. I've got a cordless mouse, and I use my my Wacom art tablet as my mouse pad, and I think the radio signal. I think the radio transponder in the art pad, I think, messes with the somehow messes with the laser of the mouse, because it seems to jitter a little bit sometimes when it's on the surface. Sending. Yeah, I like the idea of Revivify being white, black, and green. That feels good. You send a short message of 25 words or fewer to a creature. That's mind stuff. That's going to be blue. Until the spell ends, sleep falls in a 40-foot area. That's nature stuff. It's cold, heavily obscured. It's blue, blue-green. Difficult terrain. Yeah, this feels like a blue-green thing. I don't see white in here. Yeah, blue-green. That feels right. We haven't resolved slow yet, but I suspect it is a blue effect because it suppresses movement. It doesn't stop. Spell fails. Target speed is halved. Yep, there you go. Yep, blue. I feel like counterspell should be both white. Can be both white and blue, just like the spell magic can be. I'm okay with that. You grant the semblance of life to a corpse. This is Speak with Dead. Allow it to answer questions you pose. That feels like black. Yeah, that's just black. I don't see the white in this. Oh wait. Till Until the spell ends, you can ask the corpse up to 5 questions. The corpse knows only what it knew in its life, including the languages it knew. Answers are usually brief, cryptic, or repetitive. The corpse is under no compulsion to offer a truthful answer. You're antagonistic towards it, or it recognizes you as an enemy. The spell doesn't return the creature's soul to its body, only its animating spirit. Oh, okay, let's call it green then. Black and green, how fun. Speak with Planet is obviously going to be green. Spirit Guardians, let's go check that out. That was fun. Emanation is either necrotic or radiant damage, so white, black. Stinking Cloud. Poison, black, green. Heavily obscured. Until a strong wind. Poison condition. You create a 20-foot sphere of yellow nauseating gas. Okay, blue, black, green. Because the actual fog itself creates obscurement, like in the Call Lightning above, it was talking about you manifest a storm, but that's just flavor text. It doesn't actually, like for example, produce flame creates light. It's shaped like a fire. It looks like a fire. It causes no fire damage. It provides no heat. So there's no red energy to it. It's just white. It's just a shaped form of radiance. The Call Lightning spell shapes the storm around it, shapes the imagery of the storm, but doesn't actually do anything with it. It does. You do have lightning, but that's not actually the storm that's causing it. So in that sense, it's green and red, but it's not blue. In the fog, in the case of the Stinking Cloud, you're actually creating a fog effect that impacts creatures. That's why the difference between blue versus not blue. Summon Fae. Fae spirits are green and blue. So, green and blue. This is a concentration effect. Blue. Fae is green. There you go. Summon Undead, that's going to obviously be black. It is also a concentration effect. Tungus is probably going to be blue and green. Might just be blue. Let's find out. Ooh, we're 12 minutes left. Okay. The spell grants the creatures the touch the ability to understand any spoken or signed language that it hears or sees. Moreover, the target communicates by speaking or sign. Any creature that knows at least one language can understand it. If the creature can hear or see or hear the speech or see the signing. That's going to be pure blue. Vampiric touch. That's going to be necrotic, right? On a hit, the target takes necrotic damage, and you regain hit points equal to half the amount of necrotic damage. So we're going to call that white, black, and green. Water, breathing, blue and green. Water walk. Also going to be blue and green. Wind wall. Blue and green. Hey, we're into the 4th level spells. Let's keep this up. We got what is it? It's almost been an hour. We're at 10:11. I got 10 minutes left on the current clock. That'll take us to 10:20. That'll give us what, an hour and a half left for Bastion game design. So let's do that. Let's just poke through. Let's see if we can get through level 4, and we'll come back and we'll work on this again later on this week. Probably on Monday. We'll probably do Bastions on Thursday again as well. I think we'll make Thursday Bastion Day. That sounds like fun. I've got Spelljammer stuff going, Color Mana stuff going, the Bastions going, and the Eberron adventure that we're building on Mondays in off stream. I've got a fuck ton of shit going on. But we'll get it all done eventually. We get it all done eventually. You can see all the books I have created. These are all things that I said I would get done, and I did. So this is just the next burst of stuff. Some of these things are early preliminary mechanics for a separate role-playing game that I'll be publishing and hopefully be doing a Kickstarter for. I'm waiting for the trademark to come through. Once the trademark comes through, I'll talk about it. Because I can't use the name unless the trademark comes through, right? I can't launch a separate independent game IP if I don't have trademark control. So I'm waiting for that to come back. Once I have that, I'll be happy to talk about it. I'll build a website, blah, blah, blah. Arcane Eye. Visual information. It's a scrying effect that feels like blue. While you're in the aura, you and your allies have resistance to the necrotic effect, and hit point maximums can't be reduced. The ally regains 1 hit point. Oh, great, yeah. So X, that's going to be white and green. Perfect. Aura Purity. Also a concentration effect. While in the aura, you and your allies have resistance to poison, damage, and advantage on saving throws to avoid or end effects that include blinded, charmed, deafened, frightened, paralysis, poison, and stun conditions. I would say that's white and blue. Banishment. There is a banishment spell in Magic the Gathering, and it is white and blue, so we're going to be doing the same. Yep. Belight. Belightful. Let's see what it does. Creature that you can see within range makes a Constitution saving throw, takes necrotic damage. A non-magical plant that isn't a creature, such as tree or shrub, it doesn't make a save, it simply withers or dies. Yep, that's going to be... that green effect doesn't really matter. It's going to... It just automatically kills plants. Okay, yeah, that is green. Charm monster, that's going to be manipulation. Monster, so it's going to be probably blue, red, and green. Black, red, and green. Saving throw. If it has a charm condition. Friendly to you, so that's emotions, manipulation, and it's charmed creature effect, so I think we're going to call that, yeah, black, red, green. And that is a concentration effect. It's going to be black, red, green. Where was Charm Person at? Was that also black, red, green? Black and red, but not green specifically. Because it's not monsters. When it affects monsters and creatures, like monsters and hold on, let's see what it says about one creature you can see using a spell slot. No. Let's drop monster because it's not necessarily natural. Yeah, let's just leave it black and red. I like that. Compulsion. That's going to be a black effect, but is it going to also be something else? For the duration, take a bonus action to designate a direction that is horizontal to you. Each charmed creature target must use as much movement as possible to move in that direction. Yeah, that's black. Why is it? No. No, it's just black. There's no emotion. It's just forced movement. That's black. Come on, confusion. Let's go to confusion. How are we doing? We're in the second block. We'll probably get through 4th level spells. We got like 5 minutes left. What time is it? 16? Okay. Let's hustle. Confusion. That's probably going to be chaos. Yep, that's chaos. Roll d10, start of the turn. It's compelled movement and compelled stuff, so that's going to be black. It's chaos, so that's going to be red. Doesn't move or take any actions. Blue, let's call it blue, black, and red. Blue, black, and red, holy shit, okay. Conjure minor elementals. 10-minute duration, that's concentration effect, very fragile. That takes care of the problem by itself, like the problem of damage. The being fragile takes care of it. It's a melee focused ability. So the chances of you getting dinged multiple times per round to make saving throws is high. Acid, cold, fire, lightning. Oh wow, okay. So X, it's going to be all 4 of them. Conjure woodland beings. Concentration effect, very good. Foot around you. Force damage on a failed save. Okay, well, it's force damage and it's nature spirit. So white, blue, black. Oh, sorry, white, blue, red, and green. Fun. Control water, blue and green. Very good. Concentration, yeah. Death Ward. 8 hours. Utility, persistent. Touch a creature, grants it measure of protection from death. First time the creature would drop to 0 hit points, it gets 1 instead. That's white and green. That would kill it instantly without dealing damage. Is negated against the target, and then the spell ends. So white and green for sure. Do I want to? No, that doesn't feel. That's anti-black. So it's yes, it's going to be white and green. Nope. Our perception of the magic system has evolved over time. Dimension Door, that's a teleport effect. That's going to be white and blue. White and blue. Divination. God's servant. Ask it a question. That's going to be white for certain. I might change. Consider if you cast a spell more than once. White and blue. Very good. Dormant Beast. That's concentration effect. Very good. Oof, we're almost done. Charm condition. You have a telepathic link, charm creature, forced movement. Telepathic link, blue, charmed and forced to act. Black, beast is green, X. Blue, black, green, perfect. Devoured black tentacles, just because they're black doesn't mean it's a black spell. Squirming, ebony tentacles, difficult terrain, so that could be a green effect. Bludgeoning damage, and it has a restrain condition, so that's white and green. Strength saving throw, end effect. Yeah, white and green. Yep, we've evolved our thinking. I love that. Fabricate. Fabricate's going to be red. Cube, and it's going to be blue. There we go. X, blue and red. Perfect. Fire shields, probably just going to be red, but it could have some white in there. Let's see. Sheds light, sure. Flame provided warm shield, chill shield, warm shield grants you resistance to cold damage and the chill shield. In addition, fire damage or cold damage. Okay, so it's going to be white, blue, red, and green. Boy, we've evolved. Quantum Moonlight. Ooh, nature and probably white. Green and white. Delight, radiant, resistance to radiant damage. Target constitution, saving throw, blinded condition. On a failed save. Ooh, neat. White, black, and green. Is it instant? No, it's concentration. White, black, and green. I love that. How are we looking on our spells? That was my little dinger that said it's time to move along, but we got, what, 12, 20, 22 left. Can we just kick through these real fast? Let's see if we can just kick through these real fast. Freedom movement, that's going to be red. Unaffected by difficult terrain. Nor cause the target to have paralysis or restrained conditions. In addition, 5 feet of movement automatically escape non-magical restraints. That's just red. Giant insect. Summon giant speed. Okay, so that's going to be green. The creature is an ally. In combat. Turn, dodge. Yeah, that's just going to be green. Nope. Nope. It's just green. Grasping Vines. Also green, but let's see what it does. Grasping Vines, Restraint, it's probably going to be white as well. And Grappled Condition, yep, that's going to be white and green. Greater Invisibility, we know is blue. Guardian of Faith, let's see what that does. Spectral Guardian hovers the duration on unoccupied space. It's protection, so that's going to be white. White Radiant damage. There you go, it's just a white spell. Hallucinatory Terrain, blue and green, obvious. Ice Storm, blue and green. Does the Ice Storm do cold damage? If the answer is yes, then that is going to do white. It's going to be white magic as well. Yep, cold damage. There you go. White, and green. Good. Leo's Secret Chest. That's a teleportation effect, so that should be white and blue. Anything weird? Nope, white and blue. Locate creature. That's going to be green. Check. Morty's Faithful Hound. Protection equals white. Hound has true sights. Sort of turn how it tends to bite one enemy and its force. So white, blue, red. White, blue, red. Morty's Private Sanctum. That's going to be white and blue for dimensional magic. Persistent effect. Morty's Hound, yeah, persistent effect. Yeah, white, black, white, blue, perfect. Otto's Sphere. Enclosed space, that's going to be white. It's just white. Why is it? Wait, it's a force effect. Shivering Sphere encloses a... Okay, that's going to be white, blue, or red because it is a force bubble. Yeah, white, blue, red. That's a force bubble. Phantasmal Killer. I think it's psychic damage, so white, blue, red, white, blue, black. Yeah, psychic damage, white, blue, black. Perfect. Polymorph is change. Power, concentration effect. Very good. Shapeshift into a beast form. Target gains temporary hit points equal to hit point of beast. Temporary hit points is not healing, so that doesn't necessarily matter. Okay, so it's going to be red and green. Is Polymorph a Magic the Gathering spell? Let's verify that. MTG Polymorph. I think it is. Polymorph is listed as blue. Well, it's in the name, so that makes me want to use it. So we're going to use it. We'll keep it. Staggering Smite. That's a thing. Instantaneous duration. Wait, how does it work? Psychic damage. Stun condition until the end of the next turn. Yeah, that is an instantaneous effect. Stun condition until the end of the next turn. Stunned is white restraint. Psychic damage though is white, blue, black. So white, blue, black. That's perfect. Stone shape. That's going to be red and green. We already know that. Stone skin. Stone skin could be white, red, and green. Yeah, white, red, green. Aberration. Summon aberration. That makes more sense. Let's try that again. Concentration. Yeah. How does this work? Show me. You call forth an aberrant spirit. It manifests in the unoccupied space that you can see within range. Aberrant spirit, stat block. Creature's ally. Okay, so this is leaning me toward aberrations are like white and black-ish. Well, I'm sorry, blue. They're blue. Spirit makes me think green, but let's see what its abilities are to help see what color we should slot this into. Regeneration. Slot is chaos. Mind flare. So mind flares are blue black. Slod are red. Red, blue, black. Beholderkin. Blue black. Psychic. Slashing. White, blue, black. Psychic damage. Slashing damage. Psychic damage. Let's go white, blue, black. Let's go white, blue, black. That feels proper for an aberration. And construct, that's I think going to be red plus something. Let's see what that something is. Stone and metal, definitely. Fire, yeah, that's red. Boy, this is thick in the red of it, isn't it? Magical energy, 10 feet, spirit, multi-attack, slam attack, bludgeoning damage, berserk, lashing. God, is this pure red? Wow, this is all red. I love it. Elemental, it's probably going to be all 5. Air, earth, fire, water. Earth, cold. Okay, yeah, it's going to be all 5. And is that concentration? Yes. White, blue, black, red. It's all here. Hold on. Let's re-verify that real quick. Acid? Oh no, acid is not in here. Fascinating. Okay. So no, it's not black. It's white, blue, red, and green only. Neat. Cold damage, right? Oh, yep, cold. There it is. Water only. Oh. Earth. Oh no, it's not white. Yeah, we're gonna take it away. We're gonna take you from white. We're just gonna call it blue, red, green. I like that. Vitriolic sphere. Acid, black, green. Anybody? Everybody? 20 sphere. Acid damage. Acid damage. Yep. Instantaneous effect. Black and green. Because of acid is black and green. Wall of fire. Big surprise. It's gonna be red. Hey! Look at that. We just cooked through the 4th level spells. That's fucking awesome. So we're going to be able to probably blast through 5th and 6th on Monday. And then Tuesday lunch, we'll kick through 6, maybe 7. And then on Friday, we'll definitely get done with 8th and 9th. And then Wishes 10th is every color. So holy crap, this is coming along, guys. This is really, really coming along. Okay, great. We're going to put a pause there. And I'm going to drop this out of the way. We're going to shift gears for the rest of the session. And we're going to move into... Oops. Let's get that out of the way. Let's get that out of the way. All right, we're going to work on Bastions next. So... drop this out of the way. We can open up our command folder. Okay, just for reference, for the next leg that we're going to be rolling through here, we're working with Bastions now. Here is the Bastion campaign content. If you click on this button, it'll take you to this Bastion campaigns. This is a read-only Google Doc. You can look, but you can't touch, basically. But this is going to be the document that I'm going to be working on. So this is where we're going to be at today. So you guys are first through the door to check out. This is a simplification of the in-command system that I have. The playtest for the in-command of squads and armies is where the Spelljammer fleet combat mechanics came from. So we're going to eventually build a creature squadron mechanic that works the same as the fleet and squadron mechanics in the Spelljammer book that I've already published. And if you haven't seen that, you are welcome to drop down here into the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration on DMsGuild. Just to show you here real quick, it's 107 pages. It's like 80 pages of combat and exploration pillar mechanics for Spelljammer. And the last 25 pages is a conversion guide for Lattice Zeraxis to actually use all these rules. But specifically, we're looking at fleet stuff. So let's go down to squadrons and fleets. So Squadrons and Fleets allows you to control multiple ships as single actions, basically using your action economy to issue commands for fleets to move, attack, and take other actions. They have to stay within a relative space of each other to be able to operate as a single unit. If you have like these, if you have them break off into separate, like, hold on real quick. Let's drop down here. Okay, so while these fleets remain, sorry, let's go back up here for simplicity, just to keep your life easier. Okay, great. So here's an example of two fleets that are in conflict with each other. This is a 500-foot space. Each of these squares is 50 foot. A night spider occupies a 200-foot space, or a 4x4 square, at the 50-foot scale, while these space galleons are 120 feet long. They occupy a 150-foot space, or a 3x3 space at the 50-foot square. And these little spiderlings, they're 80 feet apiece, so they fit inside of a single 50-foot square. But since all three of these are inside the same 500-foot square, I could have all four of these craft attack or move as a single action. But it eats up more. The more ships that are in the squadron, the more it eats up my action economy. With the reload score, which we've talked about in the past, which is a command die, which is a proficiency die, which is a variant rule from the Dungeon Master's Guide 2014. You're going to be seeing that in the guild system. And then here's the space galleons. There's 1, 2, 3. As long as they stay inside this 500-foot space, I can have all of them move and attack together to deal more damage and to act as a cohesive unit that has more hit points. But I could also, at any time, use my action. So my characters have X amount of action economy, attacks, bonus action, reaction, object interaction that they can use to issue commands and maneuver the ships during combat. I could break up my action economy to have all three of these ships attack as a single squadron, and I can break up my action economy to have like individual ships take actions as well. So I could have the whole unit act, and then I could have individuals in that unit act. I think we have an example down here. Yeah, so we're seeing two units overlapping each other here, where these star moths and these scorpion ships are basically crossing streams, or their individual squadron unit sizes are crossing over and interacting with each other. So I could have these star moths all attack into this enemy squadron, and then I could have this star moth specifically like do a melee attack to attack this scorpion, or conversely, this whole squadron of scorpions, I could have fire a barrage of ballista fire against any of these star mobs, or just against their squadron as a whole. And each of these scorpion ships, I could have them grapple like this one ship that they're within melee range, or I could have them move forward to grapple these. So I can have the whole unit act, and I can have individual ships inside of that unit act. The command system that we have for In Command of Armies, Guilds, and Kingdoms. It's a deep dive into all of those mechanics, but the Guilds and Kingdoms part of it, we broke off the squads and armies into a separate document as a warfare document, and then we tore out the In Command of Guilds and Kingdoms into a separate document. And this was back in 2022. Here's the earlier, wait, 2023, yeah, 2022. This is we've been working on this basically for we're about 2020, yeah, for about 2 years now. We put up the Spelljammer book in March earlier this year, and these mechanics far superseded that publication. So now what we've done is we've separated the armies and squad combat from the Guilds and Kingdoms book, and since when we were building all this stuff, we didn't know that there was going to be bastions. So now that the Bastion system has been published, we can hold on. Here you go, Bastions. So now that the Bastion system is out, we can reassess and rebuild the Guilds and Kingdoms system to work within the Bastion framework, which is what we're currently doing here with Bastion campaigns. So we're going to, again, you can look at the document here as we read along, just drop into the Bastion's campaign content. But the premise here is that the old BECME first edition, like pre-first edition AD&D, just Dungeons and Dragons box sets, basic, expert, companion, master, and immortals, the BECME system, right? By the time your character is 9th level in the expert box set, you are assumed to be gaining land and creating your own, what 5e calls a bastion, which would eventually evolve into like a fortress or like a fief that would then further expand out potentially into a city-state, eventually a kingdom, into an empire, and then potentially taking over an entire world, right? As you continue to ascend in levels and become immortal, creating your own worlds and your own worshipping species, you become this world, like literally a world builder. So the Bastion system is where we start. In Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, they automatically give you a Bastion at 5th level that can then advance and provide you with perks, but there's not much game involved with it. It's mostly just narrative. These are just things that you can do, and so what we want to do is we've been playtesting. If you're looking at our orbital campaign, that's the Marshall system. Let's go to the orbital stuff. We have the Spelljammer stuff that we've been building. Do I really have 3 tabs of subclasses? Jesus Christ, Kearney. You don't need 3 tabs of subclasses open. Subclasses. I assure you I'm online. The Warforged Machine document. And the Asteroid Mining Rubble Belt. The Asteroid Mining Toolkit Eberron Spelljammer campaign. This is the start of another type of campaign. But we're using the command system, the in-command mechanics that we built here is parallel to, that's Squads and Armies. The core of the Guilds and Kingdoms book is basically like a variant of the renown system, where you're accumulating points of renown, which causes you to have a higher ranked guild or as a location, a kingdom. And as you accumulate power with your guild, what would now be a bastion, as you accumulate, you gain more resources, and you can spend those resources to gain access to more stuff. And it's a big, I mean, this document here, it's currently 40 some odd pages. It is a super deep dive into a resource system that can be used for guilds and kingdoms to be able to develop different role-playing, different campaign narratives. And so, like, we have crafting rules, and we have building structures and creating magic items. We have all this like espionage scenarios, like heist missions and like counter-espionage stuff and spying on people, either physically or through magic. We have rumors. We can sabotage either people's reputations or their facilities and resources. This is a like surveillance of reconnaissance missions as well as scrying. It's a super, super deep, crunchy, mechanical dive into the ideas of what can organizations do. And it's too thick. It's way, way, way too thick. So it's thorough. It's insanely thorough, but it's like Rollmaster sort of depth, like Palladium sort of complexity, like clunky mechanics. It works, but it's not friendly. I love the Bastion system that came out for Dungeons & Dragons 2024. Not because the Bastion system's so great. No, of course not. No. What I love about the Bastion system is that it's so easy to convert the guilds and kingdoms into a resource system using the Bastion Bastion framework. So what we're going to do is I need to refill my cup of coffee, and I need to bio break real quick. But when we come back, we're going to start doing a deep dive into where we're at currently with the campaign, the Bastion campaign system. And it's pretty skeleton right now. So when we come back here, and I'll be back like in a minute. So yeah, hold on. I'll just say be right back. Oh, my mouse doesn't work. My pen doesn't work right now. You gonna click back in? All right. Do I have my mouse back? Yes, I do. Be right back. There, I will, like I said, I will be right back. All right, I'm just grabbing some, just refreshing my coffee here real quick, and we'll get right back into it. So stick around while you wait. If you're interested in all this kind of stuff, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications. So we're here 10 times per week. In the mornings, we do artwork and cartography and book design. And at lunchtime and in the evenings and on the weekend, we do 5e game mechanic design. So that is currently where we're at right now. This is a Saturday morning brunch, so we're taking different 5e game mechanics and we're building stuff out of it. It's 10:45 right now. I have a hard stop at noon on Saturdays. Apparently somebody's dog doesn't know how to behave. Get our pen out of the way here. We don't need that right now. We're just working with the mouse. There we go. There. Okay, let's get this map out of the way. All right, Bastion campaigns. So the way that the DMG presents it is you gain a Bastion at 5th level, and as you gain levels, the Bastion automatically becomes more powerful. We're decoupling that. Just like the Renown system, You have the option of renown automatically gaining renown as you gain levels if you have a campaign that gives you renown perks. This is basically a physical location renown system. It's basically the same thing. It doesn't scale at the same levels, which is ridiculous, but that's just me being critical of WotC not having enough time to design properly. Luckily, I have infinite time until God takes me back. I can spend my life building this stuff with you guys to have the time needed to build mechanics. So when you gain levels, as the Bastion shows, you automatically gain levels and you gain additional facilities that allows you to do special stuff. And depending on what level it is, you have different special stuffs that you can develop with very specific things like, let's go to greenhouse. What happens if I hit the back? Nice. Okay, let's go to the greenhouse. What does it do? So we have to be level 9 for this. You can have a greenhouse. You don't, but for you to get these special effects, this is showing you what a level 9 Bastion, the kind of stuff that it can do. It's giving you flavor text for what this room in your building can do, but the actual physical benefit is you only, like at 9th level, you only have what, 4 things that you can do. So this would be, yeah, at 9th level you have 4 things that you can do. So this would basically be saying, I can only do 4 special things, like have 4 feats or like features, like a subclass, right? If this was like a building subclass, this would be like one of the things, like the feature that you would get for it at 9th level. Fruit of Restoration. See, you can, one plant in your greenhouse has special magical fruit growing in it. Any creature that eats one of the fruit gains the benefit of a lesser restoration spell, which is a 2nd level spell. Fruits that aren't eaten within 24 hours of being picked lose their magic. The plant replaces all picked fruit daily at dawn, and it can't be transplanted without killing it, which basically means you have a 24-hour duration temporary magic item or the potion that if you eat the fruit, lesser restoration, and it's gone after 24 hours. So wherever it is that it doesn't have a lot of use because it's duration. It's a free item that you get, but it requires you to use it in 24 hours. If you're picking this fruit because you're planning on going on a hex crawl to a dragon's lair that's going to breathe poison gas on you and give you disadvantage on all your shit, having this would be useful. Unfortunately, you have to get to that lair within 24 hours, otherwise this shit is worthless. So that's a very interesting limitation that they have here to give you free stuff, but to not make it break the campaign, is what they're attempting to do. We can restructure that so it has a more in-world narrative effect that you can take longer advantage of, which we'll be getting into. But this is just a quick example of like a thing that you could do that we are allowing us to expand on the idea of what these things are. Harvest healing herbs. You commission the facility's hireling to create a potion of healing made from healing herbs. Harvest options. You can issue a harvest order, and when you do use the harvest order, you can do one of the following. You can create a potion of healing, or you can create a poison. Assassin's Blood. Ooh, what does that do? DC 10 saving throw, or deal D6 in the necrotic damage. And poison condition for 24 hours. On a successful save, it only takes half the damage only and no poison. This is something you get at level 9. At level 9, you've got a DC 10 con save to deal D12 damage and poison somebody for a day. It's a DC 10 saving throw against CR 8 creatures. That's not very helpful. Like, by the time you get access to doing this stuff isn't useful to do. That is a sincere complaint I have about this stuff. DC 15 are be poisoned for an hour and blinded. Double dose. Pale Tincture, I like these things. They're fun titles. DC 16, D6 poison damage and have the poison condition. Every 24 hours, taking D6 on a failed save. damage the poison deals can't be healed by any means. After 7 successful saves, the poison is no longer poisoned. Okay, so this will... Ooh, wow. The damage the poison can't be healed by any means while the creature remains poisoned. So this thing could just flat out kill you. Neat! So we're going to look at like how we would rework these things, but this information is useful. So ultimately, so you can see here, there's like 4 different directions I want to run in right now. So I'm going to try to keep the chaos in order. Pardon the pun. Harvest. So harvest is an order, and there are 7 orders that exist in the Bastion system. Basically, when you have a facility, each facility has a specific action. It can either maintain or perform one of these specific orders. It can only do one of them at a time. So if you have the greenhouse and you issue the harvest command, it's going to generate a poison or a healing potion for you. And it's they're basically running in 10-day stretches. So, or sorry, in 7 days. So in 7 days, your greenhouse will produce a minor healing potion for free. So you can come back in a week, but you can only have 1 greenhouse, and it can only produce 1 potion at a time. And that potion will take 7 days. And you don't have to pay anything for it or make any checks. It's just that's what it does. The way that the Bastion system works is that it's taking away all variables and chances of failure in exchange for very, it's controlling everything with time. The lesser restoration fruit, infinite fruit, it all dies in 24 hours. The healing potion, minor, or the poison will give you 1 dose of those things every 7 days. So it's at 9th level. So it's pacing out control of this stuff very, very slowly to not have any kind of mechanical significance in the game. It's giving you perks, but the perks aren't strong enough at the level that they're given to be meaningful to you. Let's look at some 5th level stuff here real quick. Just to, actually let's look at 17th level, just to really set our shit straight. Ooh, teleportation circle, I want to look at that actually. Inscribed on the floor of the room is a permanent teleportation circle created by the teleportation circle spell. We recruit, okay, so we can take the recruit, the inclination of the room, permanent teleportation circle. Right, so you get a free teleportation circle spell. That is a 5th level spell which full casters get access to at 9th level. So the passive benefit of the teleportation circle is that you get a teleportation circle. You don't have to spend an entire year scribing teleportation circle in the same location over and over and over and over and over again to eventually permanize it. It's just you just get this and it happens. That's pretty cool. I like that. We're able to play with the rules of magic casting inside PHB and alter them or remove them by making them facilities that you can acquire. So we're gonna play around with that. I think we have ideas for balancing that too. Let's see, recruit, and then you can recruit a spellcaster. How does that work? It's Hirelings extends an invitation to friendly NPC. Roll any die. If the number rolled is odd, the invitee declines the invitation, and you gain no benefit for having issued the order. If the number rolled is even, the invite accepts the invitation. So basically, every 7 days you can invite a spellcaster. While you are in your Bastion, you can ask the spellcaster to cast 1 wizard spell level 4 or lower. This is a 9th level ability, so spell level below your ability. If you're a 17th level, it can be up to 8th level. Assume that a spell prepared. Spellcaster stays for 14 days, or until they cast a spell for you, then they leave and you can do it again. Every 7 days you can fetch another one to give you use of a spell. This is similar to the harvesting of the potion for the greenhouse, and that you get 1 benefit every 7 days. So if you are successful in fetching a spellcaster, and you can fetch one basically odd or even, chances are every 7 to 14 days you're going to have a spellcaster, and that caster will, as it says here, cast any spell for you up to the appropriate level, and then it leaves. So then you can summon another one, and then once it's summoned, you can have it perform a spell for you. So basically you get a spell every 7 days. as a result of having this teleportation circle. They've provided on-level benefits as a passive, and they've provided a once per 7-day benefit as well. But it's so strong that they have a 50-50 chance that you can't use it. So they're again controlling time with a variable of either, like, you have to roll off every 7 days and you can get it. Now let's look at theater real quick. Empowered events. I don't want to go through all of these, but we're just looking at some ideas about how they're framing benefits that you get from these, and how little game there actually is. Like, the only gamification we have so far is that you flip a coin, and if, like, there's no variable here. Like, you can't influence the result. It's either they show up or they don't. It's binary. There's no game here to influence. You could say that, yeah, there's a spellcaster, and they said, no, you could, if you wanted to, make a diplomacy mission out of this to go recruit that guy, but then they're going to go away after one casting a spell, and you have to start it over again, right? So there's no real sense in creating this quest to get a guy to cast a single spell for you, and then he's out, and then maybe you can get him back again, maybe not, up to them. So it's kind of loosey-goosey like that. Let's look at what theater is like. 9th level, I mean, you can have a theater at any time, right? Even at 1st level, but you don't gain these level appropriate benefits for having a theater until level 9. So let's see what they feel is a level appropriate benefit for a 9th level character. Issue the Empower Order to the facility. Its hirelings begin work on a theatrical production or a concert. Rehearsals and other preparations take 14 days, followed by at least 7 days of performances. So this is a 21-day process. What does that 21-day process give us? Characters can compose music that hasn't started rehearsal yet. The effort takes 14 days. A character can compose music. You or another character can contribute to a production in the following ways. At the end of the rehearsal period, a character who remains at the Bastion for the entirety of the production, all 21 days, can serve as the concert conductor. Performer, a character that remains for the entirety of the rehearsal period, can be the star, which is a 20-day process. At the end of the rehearsal period, each character who contributed to the concert or production, DC 15 Charisma performance check. If more of these checks succeed than fail, you and any other character who contributed to the concert or production and each gain a theater die, a D6. This die changes to a D8 when you reach level 13 and a D10 at 17. I'm liking this. At any point after the rehearsal ends, the character can expend the theater die to roll it and add a number rolled on one D20 test they make immediately after making the roll. A character hasn't expended their theater die before gaining another, the first die is lost. So, if you spend 21 days, any character that spends 21 days here gets a single Bardic Inspiration die that they can roll at any time that they want. This is a 9th level feature. Literally, all this does is give you a Bardic Inspiration die. It's a neat narrative. You could potentially build something around that, but it's kind of a dead end. Like, that's a dead end feature. Only if you succeed at your charisma checks. If you don't hit those rolls, you don't get shit. Oh man. Part of Bastion, choose one trainer from the expert trainer table. On each Bastion turn, you can replace that trainer with another trainer from the table. When you take damage from, okay, so Empower effect. Empower. A Bastion can have more than one training area. Training area, it might contain inanimate targets, padded blah blah blah. You can take a reaction to reduce this damage by D4. How long does that last? When you issue the Empower order to the facility's hireling conduct training exercises for the next 7 days. Any character who trains here for at least 8 hours on each of those days gains a benefit at the end of the training period. The benefit depends on which trainer is present, and the benefit lasts for 7 days. So if I spend 7 days here, at the end of those 7 days, I have 7 days in which I can use my reaction to reduce damage taken. When you take damage from an attack made with an unarmed strike or a weapon. Thank you, timer. This is a 9th level ability. I can spend 7 days to reduce my damage on taking a physical damage hit by D4. Skill expert. You gain proficiency in one of the following. That's fairly useful. You gain proficiency in a tool that will only last 7 days. That is also fairly useful. Unarmed combat expert. When you hit with your unarmed strike, you deal D4 damage. At 9th level, that is highly debatable if that's useful or not. Weapon expert. Simple martial weapon. Spear you aren't proficient with, you gain proficiency. If you already have proficiency, you can now use its weapon mastery. This is a great example of how you can decouple weapon mastery from the specific list. This is allowing you to gain a floating weapon mastery of a weapon. That's pretty cool. But is this worth 9th level? The skill, like gaining proficiency, that might be worth the 7 days. Maybe. At 9th level, it only lasts 7 days, so that's debatable if that's actually more of like a 5th level sort of something, like expertise, like at that level. So we're seeing incredibly minor, like the teleportation circle at 9th level has so far been the most significant effect that we've seen. But I think I've spent enough time on here right now. We can kind of get the gist of this. Is that if you build, you have X amount of, you have rank plus, you have basically proficiency bonus number of special features that you get inside of your bastion. Those bastions provide a limited option that you can trigger basically once per 7 days or more, and it's thematic to the description of the room. So, just a pub allows you to get magic potions. Let's see how this works. And then you don't get this until 13th level. So let's check out how this works. Research information. This is a research information gathering. When you use the research order to this facility, you commission the pub's bartender to gather information from spies and other people over the next 7 days. During that time, these spies can divulge the location of any creature that is familiar to you, provided the creature is within 50 miles of your bastion. Pub special. The pub has one magical beverage on tap. Choose from the following below. Enlarge spell. "24 hours, you're bigger." Spider climb for 24 hours. And sterner stuff. Avoid the frightened condition for 24 hours. You can enlarge your pub of that. Drinking a pint of this beverage grants you the enlarged effect for 24 hours. Choose from the options below. The pub has one magical beverage on tap, chosen from the options below. Enlarge, reduce, spider climb, also a 2nd level spell. Dark vision, 2nd level spell. So we're basically getting 2nd level spell potions. Does it have... Does it have any kind of information about duration? At the start of your bastion turn, you can switch to one of the other options. A pint of this magical beverage loses its magic 24 hours after it's poured. So yeah, you get this selection of 2nd level spells, and they're only useful within 24 hours of giving it to you, and you can switch it at the start of your bastion turn, which is every 7 days. You can switch it. So for 7 days, you can create one 2nd level spell effect that you must take effect within 24 hours, and it lasts for 24 hours. So again, this is incredibly restricted on time. We have to be able to get from our bastion to the location of the adventure within 24 hours to then make use of the pint to trigger the effect to have another 24 hours of use. We can do better. We can do better for that. Okay, great. So, but we're getting a general gist of how this place works, right? We're getting a benefit. Each location gives us a benefit that generally has a 24-hour period of time that impacts us, and it's typically 13th level, that's 3rd tier. This is a 1st tier benefit that we're getting. So we're looking at 1 or 2 tiers below your character's operating level is what a Bastion is going to provide for your characters. But as you can see, there's absolutely no roles, risk, reward, or anything other than spend a lot of time to get this very minimal benefit. Spend 7 days to get a benefit. Well, you get the weapon mastery or the feats. Those are mildly worth it. But you're getting a sense of like the research for spies, recruit to bring in the spellcaster. We had empower to create the play that gave you a bardic inspiration die. Harvest to pull in more to create the potion, but we don't need harvest to create potions in the pub. The pub uses research because each has basically one order it can follow to produce these effects. So there's an interesting lack of consistency in a passive ability versus the order that it commands. But so we're going to decouple passive effects and orders from locations, and we're going to restructure it. So like I was saying before, we were using a renown system initially to build this out. What we're going to do instead is we're going to have bastions, and bastions gather resources. So a bastion so we have 5 ranks. This is going to look familiar to people that know our command system already. Hold on, let's go back to our Spelljammer document real quick just to show you what we're looking at here. Crack this open. Let's go down into crew. Maintaining crews and ships. There we go. So we're looking at a crew, and we're looking at ranks. And you can see here is gaining a renown. I've been thinking I can restructure this, but this is basically using the renown system. The more battles that an NPC or a creature survives, the higher rank it can eventually become to be able to deal more damage or have more of an impact when using siege weapons, operating as a fleet, etc. This is the same mechanics we have for squads, like a squad of chain devils that are under your command. That's a 4th rank. No, that's a 3rd rank creature. So like it would be dealing a number of d8s equal to its ranks, like 3d8 damage is what that like chain devil would do under your command. So that's a basic premise. So we have stacking ranks, and with those ranks we have points that are allocated to gain those ranks. We have a CR equivalent to those ranks, and then we have a die, a damage die, command die, initiative die. This is just the proficiency die that these creatures use under your command. You can see it goes from level 1 to from 1st rank to 5th rank, D4, D6, D8, D10, D12. This is the proficiency die from Dungeon Master's Guide variant rules for the proficiency rolls instead of having a static proficiency bonus. It's like a 1st level character, instead of having a +2 bonus, has a D4. A 17th level character, instead of having a +6 bonus, has a D12. So there's a wide variant of how effective your proficiency can be. Or if you're rolling expertise, you'd roll 2 dice and keep the better result. Basically is how that expertise works with this. It's like a advantage to your proficiency roll. So 1 second. Because expertise normally lets you double your proficiency modifier. A way to modify that would be to you have to roll the die twice and keep the better result. So that's the basics of how a proficiency die works out of the Dungeon Master's Guide. So we use those proficiency die mechanics. Let's scoot this. We're looking at bastions. So a 1st rank bastion. So go some level. So if we're looking at, if we're going back here, we see that bastions come in at 5th level, 9th level, 13th level, 17th level. 2 facilities, 4 facilities, 5 facilities, 6 facilities, right? It looks a little, they don't explain why they do these numbers. These are just the numbers that they decided to do. So let's Let's smooth out that curve. When an order is issued, make a d20 test, adding your Bastion rank to the results. If the Bastion is proficient with the order, you can expend Bastion points to roll one or more Bastion dice, adding the highest number rolled among them to the result of the d20 test. The final result is referred to as the Bastion score for the order issued. Compare the Bastion score to the DC of the order. So when we're issuing an, let's take a step. We're gonna have to keep moving deeper into these design concepts because it's kind of scattergun. Sorry about that. But let's see. That's there. That's weird. There. Then Bastions. There we go. That's getting stuff fixed. Okay, so the 7 orders that can be issued is craft, empower, harvest, maintain, recruit, research, and trade. Let's go here. So you can choose. So we're converting orders into proficiencies. All Bastions are proficient with the maintain order and can choose an additional proficiency equal to the rank of the Bastion. So as we accumulate, as our Bastions accumulate power, they increase in rank. They have more orders that they become proficient with. You always, whenever you're performing an order, it is going to be a skill test, a d20 test associated with that order. And sometimes there's no penalties if you fail the die roll. Sometimes there are. Sometimes there's greater benefits if you succeed the die roll. Other times it's just simply narrating what's happening with it. So there could be risks and rewards, or it can just be simply narrative on the die roll, like to determine what kind, like the core tenet, the core guiding principle behind these order as skill checks is, if you succeed the skill check, you or the d20 test, if you succeed the test, you get the thing that you wanted to have happen, no questions asked. If you fail the test, maybe you get what you want, maybe you don't. Depends on what it is, but there's going to be a complication. So there could be limited successes with a complication, or there could be a drastic failure with additional complications that get created by it. This is a plot hook adventure generating concept. This is where the Bastion campaign's idea comes from. You want to achieve a goal through your Bastion. Say you want to start mining gold you want to extract gold from a mine that you find. You now need to set up a mining operation to have NPCs working that mine to extract gold. This is going to be a harvest action that you're going to provide. So when you're operating your Bastion, you need to become, if you aren't proficient in harvesting, you'll still just do a d20 plus your Bastion's rank. So like at first rank it'd be a d20 plus 1. And say harvesting gold from a mine might, like, say, be a difficulty of 15. So if you and if we're going to have a Bastion turn, and I generally have, so turns take anywhere to perform an order, you'll need like 1 day, 10 days, 100 days, or 1,000 days, depending on the complexity of the task and how much resources are invested into achieving it. So we could have a mining operation, maybe that's going to be a moderate difficulty, DC 15. So every 10 days you make a proficiency, you make a d20 test, and the result, if it's 15 or better, you extract gold. And now that becomes something that you can use to either, you're harvesting it, and now it's a resource that you have available that you could then use to, say, trade or to spend on recruiting, harvesting, empowering, crafting, fueling your guild's work through the mine that you're extracting to create this. We now run a gold mine operation. This 10 days, we were successful in extracting gold from our mine. That becomes a resource that we can use to trade with, right? Like I just said. But if I fail that die roll, a complication happens. Maybe you accidentally opened up you found a cavern, an underground, like a passage to the Underdark has been cracked open in your mine. And now all of your miners are terrified to go into the mine because there's monsters. This now becomes a plot hook. If that gold mine is important to you, send your characters in to fuck around with it. And it'll be a level appropriate encounter for your characters to go in and clean out the mine. Once they've successfully cleared out that Underdark cavern, your mining crew can go back in and continue harvesting gold from the area, but it creates a new opportunity for you to explore your game world. So it's almost like a hex crawl, where the tasks that your Bastion performs is either progressing your own personal goals for what you want to do with the Bastion and how you want to shape the world through your Bastion as a team, or you're failing your attempts, which is creating complications that, again, help mold. In this Underdark scenario with your gold mine, that Underdark scenario, there might be sentient creatures down there that you could actually start trading with. So now you have reasons to lean into trade. Or maybe you need to learn more about what these creatures are to see if they're worth trading with or just destroying. That can become a research task that your guild performs. Your guild can perform a number of tasks equal to your rank +1. So at first rank you have you automatically have maintain, and maintain is lifestyle. So as long as you're maintaining a decent lifestyle for your, hold on real quick, this is the breaking point here. This would be so if I don't roll, I'm sorry, on a death save, you have to roll a 10 or better. So maintaining lifestyle is like every cycle, every Bastion turn, you have to make a maintain check, and you can either invest resources. If you're automatically proficient in maintaining, so that means when you perform the maintain action, you can spend a point of your resources to invest in maintaining operations. If you roll below 10, it's a death save. So all Bastions are proficient with the maintain order and can choose the Bastion orders. Let's go with specific orders. Let's drop this here. I don't know why we're off edge like that, but there it is. So maintain lifestyle, G. Okay, so the way this works is the result, I'm sorry, and it's not, this isn't where it's at, it's, the DC is aristocratic, and then wealthy, and then comfortable, modest, poor, squalid, and wretched. So here's your DCs, and these DCs are just out of the player's handbook of the difficulties of tasks. Generally anywhere from 10 to 25 is the range that they generally go with, but with the command die, when you take a D20 and then, like, say at 5th rank, right, you're rolling a d12. You've got a +5 bonus, and you're rolling a d12 on top of your d20. So your potential range at 5th rank is going to be anywhere from 7 to 37. That's the range of results that you can possibly have. So a result of 7 is lower than 10. So it's possible, though improbable, that a 5th rank, basically like a world-scale corporation like Microsoft, Monsanto, the government of France, China, these are all what you could call 5th rank, like a mom and shop, like a blacksmith. A blacksmith and, say, his 2 sons are working together in a blacksmith shop. That smithy is a 1st rank Bastion. It's just mom and pop organization, doesn't have shit worth of resources. I need to, hold on. Bastion. So a Bastion in this system, a Bastion can be either like a business or like a guild or a religion, cults, esoteric organization, a mercenary troop, or it can be a physical, like an actual physical location, like a hamlet, a town, a city, or eventually like a metropolis. Like in this system, Waterdeep would be considered a metropolis. It's got like 1 million people in it. It has, you can get literally anything there other than an artifact. You can get literally any kind of magic item there. Its size is massive. So hold on, let's go down here. So a Bastion is either a guild or a kingdom or like a settlement. It could be a pirate ship. Like a lot of people like to say, oh, I'd love my Spelljammer ship to be my Bastion. That's great. You can totally do that. So what we want to do is look at the magnitude, the gold, the population. Let's look at size. Up to 50 feet in size. A village can be up to, say, 500 feet in size. Sorry, this isn't, let's just speed through here real quick. Up to 1 mile. It's going to be up to 10 miles. And a metropolis is going to be up to 100 miles. There we go. Average size. Gold is the amount of gold that it can handle, like a hamlet. A hamlet is basically a few, maybe a few families working land. It's very small. Population is up to 100. Average size, 50 feet. Like that would be the core. Like the hamlet might be like a single building, like a trade shop, that it uses as like for like central hall, or like what's the word I'm looking for? A general store. Thank you. If we're looking at a village, its downtown is going to be more like a 500. It's going to have like it's going to have a town hall, a church maybe, and a warehouse, maybe a stables. That's going to be like around a 500-foot footprint. A town is going to fit typically within a 1 mile area. It's going to have a larger population. It's going to be more dense, but its core is like going to have a number of. It's going to have some hotels, some taverns. It's going to have a general store. It's going to have a church. It's going to have a city hall. It probably has a garrison, maybe even like a local jail, like a constabulary. Most of that stuff's going to sit inside of a mile. A city is going to potentially sprawl for miles, including like little like farming hubs, grain silos, trade routes that are within this 10-mile area. Is basically going to be like the zone of control for like troops, patrols, lookout towers, garrisons, and then a metropolis like Waterdeep. The actual core of the city itself is going to like be 2 or 3 miles in size, fitting inside of a city footprint, but its surrounding countryside can have hundreds, like there's like a 100-mile area around Waterdeep of all the different farms and furriers and fishing communities that and mines and wood harvest operations that pull resources into Waterdeep for consumption. So, and then we can do subsets, like Waterdeep itself might be this massive population, but it's actually broken up into 7 different warrens, right? Or wards. It's got like the dock wards, the noble ward, the market ward. There's like 7 different wards, higher ward, lower ward, stuff like that. Yeah, there's 7 of them. So these could all be cities that are inside of the metropolis footprint. And once you get out of the actual city walls, then you start moving into little town, like little farming communities that are in orbit around Eberron. So like if we're talking about like a single bastion, at most like a hamlet is going to be the first rank scale. So let's look at let's add in rank. Rank, let's go with community. I'm going to drop this for now. Miles. Let's go with region size. That feels good. 100 miles is appropriate. 10 miles is appropriate. Let's do it like this. This. So we're trying to address both settlements, like the size of communities, and bastions at the same time. Bastion can become a community. So we're going to go down here to communities, which is a subsection. But this gives us the level of power that they're capable of producing. Die. Because these communities are going to use the same sort of command die system that we were using. D4, 1d6, 1d8, 1d10, 1d12. There. So these are communities, which is a subsection of bastions. So let's go back up to the results. If the result of the D20 test determines the lifestyle maintained for the bastion, determines the Bastion, the lifestyle maintained for the Bastion this turn. If the result is below 10, the Bastion becomes, what's the word I want to look for? Unstable, bankrupt. It becomes the Bastion becomes overextended. The Bastion the Bastion is overextended. If a Bastion is overextended, three times before, if the D20 test fails 3 times before succeeding 3 times, the Bastion loses enough resources loses enough resources to drop to the next lower rank. So even at a 5th rank, you're rolling a D20 plus 5 plus a D12. That D12, the minimum result is 7, which could be dangerous, but anything above a 10 is going to be okay. So, or 10 or above. So if I roll a 9 or less, I only basically have to roll a 1, 2, or 3 on my D20 if my D10 is a 1. So highly unlikely. A 1 or a 2 on a D20. If I roll a 1 on the D12, that's going to result in a result. That's going to be a result less than 10. I could potentially become bankrupt at that point. I would have to fail that roll 3 times before succeeding 3 times for me to lose a rank and drop down to 4th rank, strip off a number of resources that I lose control of. So the amount of resources I have is going to be 25 or more at 5th rank. It'll be 16 to 24. So here's your leading edge here. 1, 2, 3. You can see here it's not a half casting progression of 1, 5, 9, 13, 17. In this instance, it's basically like filling in the size of a footprint. So here on the map again, if we're looking at basically how this scales, it's going to be, this is a first rank. This is a first rank guild, or a first rank bastion. And then if we build out, once we have all 4 units in this space build out, this is a second rank bastion. This is a 3rd rank bastion. Once all of these are filled in. So let's just do this differently. Hold on, I can do it. I can do this better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here, 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 here. That's a crappy line. There. Once I have 1 resource, I have a first rank bastion. Once I accumulate 4 resources, I have a 2nd rank bastion. Once I've accumulated 9 resources, I am a 3rd rank bastion. Once I've accumulated 16 resources, I am a 4th rank Bastion. And once I've accumulated 25 resources, I am a 5th rank Bastion. And then I could just continue to accumulate more resources. When I want to perform a task, I can perform as many tasks equal to my Bastion plus 1. So let's go back up here. Bastion, orders, number of orders that I can follow. So it's the number of orders I can follow. A Bastion can follow a number of orders at once equal to its rank plus 1. Rank orders. Now you always have to perform. Actually, you don't have to. If you perform the maintenance task, you get that task. You basically get that task for free, or you maintain. You could choose to spend gold in your Bastion to automatically gain a level of to be able to maintain. If you're pumping gold into your operation, then you can maintain a lifestyle for it. You don't have to worry about destabilizing. You might have to pump gold into a location to maintain a minimum level of lifestyle so that it does in fact remain solvent. If you want to, you have to maintain a poor or better lifestyle for your guild for you to not become unstable. And that gold cost is 2 per cycle. And so let's look at rank orders. Let's look at duration. Yeah, we're looking at a duration, and so the duration, bop, 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 is going to be 10 days, 10 days, 100 days, 100 days, 1,000 days. Actually, let's do it like this. There. Nah, that's too slow. For a Bastion, for society, for a Bastion can follow a number of orders at once. No, I don't want to have that there. This is an idea. We should put this down in the settlements or the communities area to see how frequently a community can acquire. We're not there yet. What that number was is how often can you accumulate additional resources. The smaller the guild, the smaller your Bastion, the more quickly you can accumulate resources. The larger the Bastion, the slower. Orders, maintain. The idea here is, so this is, sorry, we're kind of all over the place, but we're in the process of designing. It's kind of a cloud, and we're pulling pieces out of the cloud as we go. So let's see. Let's go down here to settlements again, or communities. Rank, size, die, gold, region size, gold, population, die, and it's, let's see, growth. There we go. That's the word I want. Growth. 10 days. So growth, what that means is that whatever your growth rate each growth duration. So the idea here is that a community, every growth duration, you can make a maintenance. You can do a maintain order to, or rather, I guess that would be an empower action community. That would be growth duration equals frequency of gaining one resource. Thank you, timer. Where are we at on time? 11:40. Shit, we're down to our last 20 minutes. Okay, so but we'll continue this on Thursday, this upcoming week. So the idea here is that whatever your growth duration is, for a hamlet, it's a first rank and it gains community, population, region size. Let's go with resource. One for 9, 16, 25 plus, 16 plus, 9 plus, 4 plus, 1 plus. There we go, miles. One mile. No, up to 100 miles. That makes sense. A village up to 10 miles. Yeah, a hamlet up to 1 mile. That actually does make sense. I am happy with this. Up to. There. So a hamlet has up to a population up to 100. It has one or more resources. It is a region up to 1 mile in size. It can process at most 20 gold per cycle, or rather, up to 20 gold per cycle, and its growth duration is 10 days to potentially gain an additional resource. So growth duration equals frequency of gaining one resource. Let's make it a maintain. Make maintain order. Maintain order equals gain one resource. First rank, second rank, third rank, fourth rank, fifth rank. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. Rank, DC. So you have the maintain order for a lifestyle, and then you can also issue an order to attempt to grow your organization, or you can perform a specific task like craft, research. At first rank, your guild is going to have some sort of a specialization, right? So a blacksmith is going to start with maintain and craft. Maybe a church might have empower to provide prayer and stuff like that. Maybe a mining, like a small mining operation, or a farm would have harvest. Maintain is something that everyone gets. Recruitment, it could be like a mercenary guild, or a university. That it's recruiting. A university would probably be research, but research could also be like a thieves guild that's spying on people or trying to gather information about different locations. Or it could be a university, like I said, that performs library research. Or it could be a merchant guild that performs trade. Or it could be like a general store on the edge of a city's reach it's in the process of expanding. So you lay down a general store to act as a hub for resources coming in and out that you can build off of. So you'd have a specialization that you start with, and the 7 orders that can be issued are based on, so you can choose a number of orders to have proficiency with equal to your rank of the guild. +1. +1. The 7 orders that can be issued are all bastions are proficient with the maintain order and can choose an additional proficiency equal to the rank of the bastion. Let's define what each of these are real quick in the system. So the idea is that as we perform tasks, you become proficient in these different things, and whenever you become proficient, you can start using your bastion die or your proficiency die when you make those die rolls, so you can hit the higher and higher difficulty tasks, like a 5th rank task, like a research task to like find out Asmodeus's true name, so that you could cast spells and gain control over that archdevil, for instance. That would be a difficulty of 30. And if you apply and if you have a 5th rank like library of research, there's a chance that your researchers might be able to find the name, a true name for Asmodeus. It would be a D roll, you'd have to roll a 30. If you fail that check, chances are you're going to attract the attention of Asmodeus. So if you try to shoot the devil in the back, you better fucking make sure you hit. Otherwise, your next complication is probably going to be demons trying to burn down your facility. or kill you, or start assassinating your sages. Like that could be the result. Like a 5th rank task that goes wrong can have world-ending consequences for you, as opposed to like a 1st rank task of like, what was the name of the monarch of the neighboring kingdom 200 years ago. There might not be any consequences to failing that check, and it might not be that difficult to find out, but it's not assumed that you're going to know what that answer is. So these are your basic DCs that you stack from 10 to 30. It's a pretty normal stat array. It's just within a normal. So now what we want to do is we want to take all the tasks that we created in the Guild and Kingdom system of espionage, counter-espionage, creating magic items, establishing a trade route, creating an army, researching lore and spells, casting magic, all these 40 pages worth of heavy mechanics and different variable roles. I want to reduce all that stuff down to very simple command orders or order checks that you make every cycle. So super, super simple. And we're not going to worry about a bastion can follow a number of orders equal at once. So like a shorter task, a lower ranked task generally can be done quicker than a higher ranked task. And so once you or an issue, we're going to be working on a cycle of 1, 10, 100, and 1,000 days. And like if a task would normally take 10 days, and say it's a 3rd ranked task that would take 10 days, if you invest 5 ranks worth of resources into it, you can collapse the time frames. Instead of being 10 days, maybe you can make it happen in only 1 day. There you go. If you overclock something by 1, you can reduce its time by 10. If you overclock it by 2, you can reduce its time frame by 100. But that's the maximum that you can do. So otherwise, you would just be able to spend higher dice. You can perform a number of tasks equal to your rank plus 1, and the die level that you spend on performing the task is going to be equal to the rank. So, for instance, a 5th rank, it would be you can apply a number of dice equal to tasks equal to your rank. You can perform a number of tasks equal to your rank plus 1. But you can only apply a number of dice equal to your rank. So like I could have a D12, like a 5th rank guild that rolls D12s. I could have 5 tasks that I'm performing at once. And I would have to temporarily invest my resources into doing so. So a rank 1 orders to, let's see, a die, and then die cost is 1 resource. So a 5th rank guild has 25 resources, and if I want to roll a d12, it's going to cost me 5 of those resources. So a 5th rank guild with 25 resources can perform 5 tasks at the 5th rank of effort using a d12. So d20 plus 5 plus a d12. I could perform an additional task for free just as a naked d20 plus 5, like for example, maintaining a lifestyle. I could do that. I would not have to apply any effort towards it. But if I wanted to, I could apply 1 rank of resources to perform that task as a single d4. I would just, for 1 point of resources, my 5th rank guild could apply a d4 to that roll. And that roll will sustain itself for however long that resource goes for. In this instance, it would be a 5th rank guild maintains lifestyle for 1,000 days. 100 days, 100 days, 10 days, 10 days. So every 10 days, your first rank guild, or your first rank bastion, like your smithy shop, every 10 days, you have to make a lifestyle check again to see if you're staying open. A 2nd rank guild might only have like 10 days, 100 days, 100 days, 1,000 days, 1,000 days. A 4th rank guild would only have to check every 3 years or so to see are we maintaining solvency or not. And it would take like literally 20 years for that business. If that business doesn't have any injection of cash and has the worst luck, it would still take 20 years for that organization or that business to go bankrupt and break down and start to break apart. So every 10 days, every 3 years. 10 days, 3 months, 3 years. That's how that point break would be. Bastions, population. So I have populations in down here. I don't need a population for the guild, so I can use it as a general outline. It shouldn't exceed these numbers. I don't need that. You can purchase resources. Value is in gold pieces. So while you're accumulating resources as a 1st rank guild, they're only 100 each. So all you need is 300 gold to get 3 resources of 1st rank guild. But as soon as you want to become a 2nd rank guild, they're 1,000 apiece. So a 4th rank guild is worth 1,000 gold, and then 8 resources in a 2nd rank guild. That's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a total of 5,000 gold invested into your 2nd rank bastion. But as soon as you accumulate another resource, those resources that's now worth 10,000 gold. So I could cash out that 10,000. I could cash out that resource, drop my resources to 8, dropping me down to a 2nd rank bastion. But I'd get a cash pocket of 10,000 gold. So we can use treasure can be gold, magic, art, or resources. So there's a trade bar, right? There, the gold trade bar. There's 50 gold per pound. So a gold trade bar is worth 50 gold. A platinum trade bar is worth 500 gold. But you can also, at higher levels, start trading in resources or favors. So like if you save a kingdom, that kingdom can be like, yeah, I'm going to give you 1 point of resources if you decide that you want to set up a facility here. Maybe we'll give you like 4 resources so you could have a small shop. That would be worth 1,000 gold. So instead of a trade bar, 1 pound of gold for 500, like a single trade bar could be cashed in to gain 3 ranks. So like I could buy, like if I had a trade bar of gold is worth 50 gold. If I had a trade bar of platinum, a pound of platinum, I could trade that platinum in worth 500 gold. I could like hand a smithy a platinum bar and say, I want your smithy shop. Here's a 500 gold piece block of platinum. It's ours now. And he'd say, yes, this is yours now. And so you would gain those resources, but I would need 1,000 gold for me to gain 4 resources to launch a second rank Bastion. Like maybe it would be a workshop that has multiple furnaces burning. So I could then make multiple sets of armor, multiple weapons all at the same time. I can use the same action, like that would be a crafting action, right? So a second rank Bastion can perform 3 tasks at the same time. Resource, let's go to 2 tasks, 3 tasks, 4 tasks, 5 tasks, 6 tasks. There you go. So these are the number of tasks I can perform at the same time. And if I have enough ranks, I can perform. I can invest those ranks to perform those tasks, adding a D4 to the die roll. I can perform 2 tasks. I don't have to spend any resources on them if I don't want to. I'd just be a D20 plus 1. But if I spend the point of resources, and like say it's 10 days, I'm going to invest those resources for 10 days to perform this task. At the end of to perform this order that you gave me. Sorry, using other terms. So if you issue an order to create weapons, I could perform that order for 10 days, and at the end of those 10 days, I would make a die roll. And if I decide to invest a point of resources into doing so, I would add a D4 to the die roll. If not, it would just be the D20 plus 1. So I could perform 2 tasks that way, and if I have 2 resources, I could perform both tasks with the D4 die roll each. Maybe I don't have enough resources to do that. Let's look at second rank, right? If I'm going to perform a second rank task, I can perform up to 3 tasks at the same time. Each task, if I want to add a D6, is going to cost 2 resources. If I only have 2 resources, I can only perform 2 tasks with a D6 modifier. If I have 6 resources, I can perform 3 tasks at plus 1 with a D6 each. If I only had 4 resources, I have 3 tasks. I can perform one of them with a D4, another one with a D4, and then one of them with a D6. That'd be 3 tasks for 1, 2, 4 points roll. So that would eat up my resources. At 9th rank, or at a 3rd rank facility, I have a minimum 9 resources. If I want to roll D8, it's going to cost me 3 resources to do so. I have a total of 4 tasks. If I don't have, if I have like say 10 resources instead of 12, I can perform 3 of them with a D6 and then 1 of them with a D4, for instance. So I break up my resources and then I invest them into the tasks. So we'll have a task tracking sheet where we're looking at what are the tasks that we're performing, and as these different tasks get completed, we make our die rolls. And when we see the result of the die roll, if it's a failed die roll, maybe we make some of the weapons, some of the armor, or whatever it is that we're doing, but we run into a complication. Like maybe we run out of resources. Like maybe we run out of iron. I need more iron. Or maybe somebody's sabotaging our smithies and it's preventing us from completing the task. Now we have a rival we need to deal with. Or we succeed the roll and we create the weapons, and then we achieve our goal with whatever it is that we want to do with those weapons. Maybe we have a trade agreement and they say, yeah, we'll trade with you, but what we want like I want this magic stone. Okay, we'll give you that magic stone, but we need weapons. So if you can get us 200 swords, we'll give you this magic stone. Well, I could either then go out and trade somebody else to get those weapons. Like maybe I have exotic horses and they'll trade weapons for horses. I could trade those horses, or I could potentially craft those weapons on my own to then perform that trade. So you can see how these different tasks can work together to be able to produce the like I want iron to produce my own swords. Okay, great. I could either trade to get that iron, or I could harvest that iron from an iron mine myself that I control. So you can see how you can work these different orders together to create different results. And so we're simplifying everything down to specific tasks is going to be anywhere from a scale of 5 to 30 generally, or basically typically it's going to be on a scale of 10 to 30 on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First rank, and first rank D10, that's the minimum I need to. If I roll below that, yeah, I'm still indoors, but it's like it's no like my home is no longer secure. Like people are breaking into my home. That's what my smithy is no longer secure. If I can't roll a 10 on maintaining the lifestyle for my smithy, the smithy itself is now being compromised. Like people are stealing tools, right? Something like that. Well, now I have a mission. I now have a new task I need to perform. I need to find out who's stealing from my shop and why. That would be a very first level adventure to perform. And you've basically got 10 days to get your tools back, because that's the duration of your cycle as a first rank task, as a first rank crew, as a first rank Bastion. I'd have 10 days to recover my tools before I can no longer craft for the next 10-day cycle. So these are some of the ideas that we're playing with, and this was a pretty fevered conversation, because I'm just fleshing out the ideas how these works. But this is how it works. So eventually, we're going to take all of the different different orders that you can follow. We're going to define what those orders are. We're going to take all the different tasks that we have from the Guild and Kingdom system, and then translate them into these orders. And then we're going to take all the orders from the Bastion system here to look at the perks to start building a table of special benefits that you get for performing tasks, performing these orders. And then we can start creating complication tables. Complication per order by rank. First rank stuff is going to be like really low level shit, like people are stealing from you. You fuck up your shit, something like that. So it's going to be, but like fifth level, like we're talking about, like a god has taken interest and wants you destroyed. So a god is now waging a holy war against you specifically for whatever it is that you fucked up. Like Asmodeus finds out you're trying to track their name, he's now going to try to kill every one of you. So like that becomes their mission. That becomes a serious level complication for a serious level task, or a serious order. So that's the idea. So we're going to be digging away at this. I think we're going to be looking at Thursdays and some of our Saturdays moving forward are going to be dedicated to this Bastion system. We've been using this Bastion system for well over a year in my own campaigns, but we had been using the Guilds and Kingdom stuff. And if you want to find out more about like how that looks in my Orbital campaign, you can go to my Spelljammer Eberron playlist to see how we're using this Bastion, these task systems, these Bastions, right? 1, 4, 9, 16, 25 resources, industry rank, resources spent. You can see how we're diving into this as like a real heavy build on mining asteroids in orbit around the planet of Eberron. We've taken this Bastion system and built an orbital asteroid mining guild with ships and gnomes and dwarves and warforged and fightercraft and zero-G mining operations. All of those mechanics are inside of this, which are in my Spelljammer playlist. Hold on real quick. If we go to Phil Kearney, and then we go to playlists, and then we go to the Spelljammer campaign developments. Here is my Spelljammer Eberron campaign development, asteroid mining adventures. There's a total of 18 episodes in this series here of us developing the mechanics and walking through like diplomacy missions, heist missions, asteroid delving missions, how to randomly create asteroids, the minerals that are in them, the monsters that are in them, the difficulty of your team performing an order to make these things work. You can see all that stuff in the Spelljammer development stream here. But that was the initial idea. Now that we've had time to digest the Bastion mechanics in the DMG, we're converting all that stuff in a very simple, easy to use die roll skill test using Bastion. So we're going to be going through simplifying and breaking down all these mechanics that we have into very simple die rolls that we can use as the theme for building a campaign. You decide what your Bastion wants to do. You attempt to perform those tasks. And you're performing those tasks because there's things that you want to achieve in your campaign. As long as you keep succeeding tasks, you can keep moving forward with those goals. The DM can create adventures and opportunities for your characters representing the Bastion to perform those missions. And when you fail those orders, it creates complications that your team then pursues. So if you have multiple complications, you can only resolve one complication at a time. So you get to figure out what's my highest priority right now. And like a hex crawl campaign, it's the decision, the task that you decide to pursue, the complication you decide to resolve, helps mold and shape how the campaign proceeds. So it becomes a procedurally generated campaign based off of the decisions that you make at the Bastion level, then creates challenges and complications for your characters to perform, supporting the Bastion. And as you perform these adventures, at some point it's going to become more practical for you to receive favors and resources from the quest givers to then help build your Bastion stronger so you can gain more resources. Like if it's going to be like at the fourth and fifth rank of Bastion, if it's going to take 1,000 days for you to naturally develop an additional resource to expand the size of your Bastion, that's too slow. So you're going to want to perform adventures that you can then say, hey, I'm going to perform this task for you. We'll complete this mission, but we want a resource for it. And if that is a fourth or a fifth rank mission for your like 15th level characters, then great. You can tack on another point to get them towards fourth or fifth rank. See how that works? So low levels, it's easy for you just to gain loot and to buy resources to make your guild, your Bastion stronger. Because your Bastion can grow independently of your character's level. But at some point around second and third rank, you're going to start, you're going to swap, like it becomes more practical for you to perform missions for resources than it is to buy them or to wait for them to occur, because it's going to take too long. So that then fuels the need for adventure. But some of the tasks that you're performing with these guilds can take 10 or 100 days to perform, or even 1,000 days to perform. Like that's going to take a really long time. So then you can start looking at how are we scoping the skill. Like nothing goes wrong for 3 months, and then something goes wrong, and now our 15th level characters activate to be able to deal with whatever that problem is. If we can resolve it, we can complete the task successfully within that 1,000 time frame, right? But we might have a number of tasks that only take 10 or 100 days to perform. So as we're bipping through those episodes of those blocks of time, it becomes an episodic campaign where we're performing this task and then things go quiet for a while. And then 30 days later, something else crops up. So like we can do a die roll and then multiply it by the variable. Like if it's a 1,000 day order, we'll roll a D10 and like say I got 3. Well, 300 days in, something goes wrong. Or we can drill it down further, like we have a 1, so that's within 100 days something goes wrong. So let's roll a D10 again. So I roll a 6. So within the 60th day something goes wrong. Well, let's roll another D10. I got 3. 53 days into this order, something goes wrong. And if we can complete that task, then we can secure that task for the rest of its cycle. But we'll be performing other 10 and 100 day tasks while we're waiting for that 1,000 day task to complete. So we can build out the timing in the campaign to build a protracted duration, and everything that we're doing is episodic. So the Bastion turn is driving the momentum and the duration of adventures inside of that for our characters to perform. That's the idea. So now it's an issue of boiling it down so it's only a few simple variables that we can then refer to a table, what are the complications or what are the benefits that are received. So that's what we're going to be building out. I hope this is interesting to you guys. We'll be taking this journey for probably the next few months. This is the start to the Guilds and Kingdoms sort of style campaign that I want to put on Kickstarters eventually. The Kickstarter will have a different mechanical system using a different role-playing game altogether that we're developing, but this is how you use that stuff in 5th edition. So we're starting it here in 5e with the Bastions, and at the end of this, sometime in 2026, we're going to be seeing these ideas, and we're going to be taking these and using a different type of Beckme style mechanic for a generic D20 game that anyone can play, whether it's 5e, Pathfinder, Mutants and Masterminds, D20 Cthulhu, Beckme, any of that stuff would work with. So anyway, that's what we're playing with, guys. Hopefully you think this stuff is cool. You are welcome to join me on my Discord to play with this stuff in the future. I am over duration, so it is time for me to bail out of here. Like, subscribe. See you guys on Monday. Cheers.